Say it with me. Sup, though. All right, hey, question. If you had to choose between staying woke, never sleeping, staying woke always, not dozing off, not napping, just you're up all the time for 1,000 years, would you do it? Or would you go to sleep and stay asleep and dream very vividly, realistically, have a dream for 1,000 years? Which one would you do? Would you sleep for 1,000 years and dream, you know? Or would you stay woke the whole time for 1,000 years? No dozing off, no drifting off, and like no sleeping at all. I don't know what I would do. Let me know that. And comment, which one would you do? A, go to, no. A, stay woke for 1,000 years, no sleeping at all. Or B, go to sleep, stay asleep, and dream very vividly, realistically, have dreams for 1,000 years. A or B. Let's go.
Despite all of our modern technology, it's still possible to become hopelessly and completely lost almost anywhere.
Not me.
And when that happens, the odds of you getting found are beyond your control and almost undoubtedly stacked against you. Number 10.
Just saying, you can't get lost with Adidas. That's all I'm saying. Because, fun fact, Adidas 1500s comes pre-installed with GPS.
When police pull over this van, they find two suspects and one innocent woman inside who is bound by metal.
Tight chain down by the neck.
The panic-stricken survivor tells police about her ex-boyfriend and his new boyfriend, Samuel Brown, who pulled her out of her Las Vegas apartment, kicking and screaming, and stuffed her inside of the vehicle.
Damn.
Dragged me out of the place and I fought so hard because I was like, this is how you die.
Jack Morgan and Samuel Brown eventually confessed that they've been planning this abduction for over a year, though the details were never made public. Still, the rescued woman has no doubt that they would have taken her life had the police not intervened, and judging from how unhinged her ex-boyfriend was acting in the back of the police car, she was probably right.
That bitch is crazy. That's all I'm saying.
Number 9. 6 hours after a 2-year-old girl named Camilla Vicks was reported missing by her mother, it's over 100 degrees outside and police are combing the blistering hot forest in Savannah, Georgia for any remaining traces of the small girl's whereabouts.
Clucking up,
The wooded area is covered in dense greenery, and it's difficult to make out anything in front of them. It is starting to look like all hope is lost, but there is still plenty of daylight, so they march on in a long row. The search team continues, calling out to the child for quite some time, encountering tons of snakes and spiders all the while. When they finally get a loud and healthy response.
Where is she? Last you're calling.
Is that her? Is that her? I mean, it's three. I see 3 of y'all. So how about one of y'all go get her, right? And if y'all don't come back in a reasonable amount of time, then that's it. I'm hauling ass back outside, back to the civilization. There's no reason for all 3 of us to go over there to her, to where she was screaming at. Because we don't know that's her. It could be a setup. You don't know. That's all I am saying. You feel me? Because I really didn't want to come out here. I don't even know what her name. What's her name? Katie? I'm just making up name. Katie. This is what I really wanted to do. This is let's say like this is the forest, right? Like on the other side of my hand is the forest, right? And we're standing right here, right? This is what I really wanted to do. All right, well, that's it, fellas. We're out. Deuces. Adam, where you go? I'm gonna let you do you. You can go right ahead. I'm giving you 3 calls, so if you don't say nothing.
The child has been located.
Leaning against the tree is the dehydrated 2-year-old, tired and hungry but still alive. She had been missing since the evening of the day before, but her disappearance was not reported until the next morning. Exactly what happened before Camilla went missing is unclear. The mother has not been charged because she was in what police called a crisis situation when she lost track of her child.
What do you mean?
If someone could fill me in on what exactly that legal term means, I would greatly appreciate it. Number 8.
I feel like somebody should get charged. Somebody. I'm not saying the mother should, but somebody should get. That's a baby. I mean, do I need to say anything? That's a baby. They were lucky to find her fine, like nothing wrong with her. You know, all in one, all in contact, all, you know, nothing broken, nothing sprained. God. So I feel like somebody should get charged. I don't know who should get charged, but I feel like somebody should get charged. Because that's crazy.
This dramatic rescue footage was taken during the final hours of a 50-man search mission in the English village of Brancaster, Norfolk. Peter Pugg is a 75-year-old author who somehow has become separated from his group while walking along a beach at 5 o'clock in the evening.
Wow.
Eventually, he accidentally wandered into a dense swamp at night and becomes more lost than ever before. It kind of looks like he is hiding from the rescue team, but the poor exhausted man is actually trapped in sharp reeds that have latched onto his clothing and skin. The ground gave way from under him, and he has remained stuck in this uncomfortable position for the entire night, well into the next day. It even looks like he is clutching at reeds to keep from sinking any further. A full 22 hours pass before he is finally airlifted to safety.
Oh my God.
If not for the efforts of this police drone, all 50 rescuers could have easily passed over him numerous times. They most likely would have found his remains weeks or even years later without this aerial view. Number 7. A YouTuber named Steve Ronan is excited to explore the Ape Cave in Washington with his friends. They are laughing and having a laid-back adventure for most of the video, until they find a tiny wall opening that is almost too tight for any of them to fit into.
Exactly. Did you hear what he just clucking said? It seems like a space too tight, too small for any of them to go in there. So why do this shit? Why would you wanna what? Why would you wanna force yourself? See, because I feel like if you're gonna force yourself, and if you get, I feel like you're gonna get stuck, brother. I feel like you just gonna, and those are definitely not. I don't know what shoes you got on, but those are definitely not Adidas. They not. They can't be. If they are, they some bootleg off like some weird type like Adidas, not Adidas. Adidas. It's the shoes that look like Adidas, but they're not really Adidas. Because not a chance in hell if you wear an Adidas that they're going to lead you into a situation like this. Not a chance in hell. If a space seems way too small for you to go through or get in, why would you try to force your way in there? That doesn't make any sense. And you're in a cave. So what you really doing? What was that?
After squeezing their way down a cramped tunnel, they
Wow.
find something completely unexpected on the other side.
Oh.
English?
Oh, did you?
You speak English? No English.
Oh,
No?
damn.
Okay, come with us.
A frightened girl without a flashlight has somehow become lost and missing in the deep underground caverns. The group of friends eventually help bring her through the maze of tunnels and reunite her with her caretakers. It's a happy ending, but I can't help but imagine what would have happened if she wasn't accidentally rescued. It looks like she was petrified with fear and not going anywhere on her own. With that said, it definitely would have been hard, if not impossible, to locate her in the dark, with her tiny voice bouncing off the cave walls from all angles. Number 6. A woman is paying her respects to a family member in Brazil. When she hears muffled noises coming from a nearby gravesite, she sees the earth moving and realizes with horror that someone is actually struggling to climb out. As it turns out, this person has gone missing for days after getting into an argument. Someone beat him senseless and then took his unconscious body to the cemetery, where they proceeded to bury him alive. Paramedics are able to determine a pulse and quickly excavate him from his shallow tomb just...
Quick question, real question, and comment only if you have facts. You know, if it's you know, if the answer is like legit. What's the longest a human being can go without food and water? Let me know. I don't really know. I heard a week, but I don't know. No. What's the longest a human being can go without food? That's one question. And then what's the longest somebody can go without water? That's another question. But I guess like combine those two, and then like what's the longest somebody can go without food and water? Because I don't know, like I think he said days. He was in there, so it's like, and he's barely alive. But yeah, let me know that in the comment section below.
time to save his life. Judging from this video, the poor man would have been a goner for certain, if not for the grieving woman who just happened to be close enough to hear his cries for help. Number 5. A group of Vietnamese villagers are busy chopping firewood when they see 2 wild-eyed men running in the jungle. One of them is middle-aged and the other looks twice as old. It is the first time anyone has seen them in 40 years.
No, shit. Okay, I did not. That was a bit over. Why? The reason I made that noise is because I had a burp. But then when he said 40 years, that's when I was like, oh, I wanted to say, oh shit. But then I was in the middle of burping. So it's like, you know, it was weird. Wait, I need to, excuse me. Sorry. 40 years? 40 years. That's crazy. 40 years. Yo, what? That's what's a decade? Is a decade 10 years? I want to say a decade is 10 years. I know a century is 100. I want to say a decade. So would that be 40? I mean, I said 40. Would that be 4 decades? 10 years? I mean, 40 years? No, wait. 4 decades is 40 years. Something like that. What? 40 years. 40 mother clucking years. Yo, that's crazy. Whoa, I can't even begin to... That's a long ass time.
Survivor is a villager named Tarn. In 1973, he disappeared into the jungle to hide from American troops. His wife set off a landmine while holding two of his children, but he managed to escape with his third son, Lang, who was only 2 years old at the time. Together, Tarn and Lang survived off of the land for 4 full decades, devouring nothing but rice, fruit, and vegetables while dressed in loincloths made of tree bark.
And water,
They were totally
right?
isolated from society until they were discovered. Living in a tree house in 2013, I thought they would have been more excited to be rescued, but I can't help but notice how uncomfortable they both look instead, especially Lang, who truly is in a foreign world and barely speaks the language. Check out the surprised expressions on their faces, and let me know if you think they would have preferred living a simpler life in the jungle after all. Number 4.
I think so. I think they would rather be like in the jungle versus like in a city or something. Because something tells me that the mother cluckers that was after them are still holding that grudge, they still want them. So it's like I think they still want to be in hiding. I mean, that's my take. That's how I feel. Because they wasn't too excited at all about getting found. But yeah, I mean, if I was hiding for 40 years, I think I would just stay hiding for like the rest of my life. 40, that's a long time, yo.
A young boy from Weifang City, China goes missing while playing with some friends. The 3-year-old somehow gets separated from the group and plunges 33 feet down a vertical pipe before getting stuck in a particularly narrow section. Now a dozen firefighters are working hard to get to him before he makes the full 300-foot drop straight down.
Damn!
The stale air is filthy and potentially contaminated down there. So their first step is to pump fresh oxygen to the child, using hoses and tanks before he passes out, with the child able to breathe again. They patiently monitor him with cameras and try to figure out the most safe and efficient way to bring him above ground. It's an extremely tense situation because one false move could send him even further below.
Damn.
At the same time, waiting too long would inevitably have the same result. If you happen to speak the language, tell me what this relative is saying here. After more than 2 hours of careful planning, they finally managed to remove the child using ropes and a safety harness.
Damn.
The child is physically okay, but I can't help but wonder how this intense emotional damage will manifest itself later in life. Number 3. Aldi Adelang is 19 years old and making a living as a fisherman in Indonesia. One night, while fast asleep, his small fishing raft accidentally detaches from the dock and floats out to sea. It looks like a sturdy vessel, but judging from its size, the small raft was probably meant to navigate rivers, never the vast ocean. So imagine his absolute horror when Aldi wakes up miles from land, without a clue how to get back home. It was the beginning of a 49-day journey that almost ended his life. Supplies last only a couple days before dwindling down to nothing, after which Aldi survives by eating fish and filtering seawater through his shirt. His tiny craft has no engine or paddles, and every day he is forced to travel in whatever direction the waters and wind carry him. Many ships pass him by without a second thought. Finally, after traveling more than 80 miles on the Pacific Ocean,
That's scary as shit. Oh my god. That reminds me of the movie Life of Pi and that was it Tom Hanks? It was like he was stuck on an island or in the ocean or whatever. But his only friend was like a volleyball, and he was just talking to it. I don't really know the name of that movie. But can y'all imagine just being out in the ocean, just stuck for days on end? Oh, that's wild. just out in the ocean, like,
Our ship travels close enough to pick up his radio signal. They immediately turn around to help. Aldi still has to swim a terribly long distance across the open ocean to this boat and grab onto the ladder. It would have been terrible to let go and sink into the ocean after coming this far, but fortunately Aldi hangs strong and lives to tell his entire ordeal in person. Number 2. Scientists are measuring snow levels in various locations throughout the Andes Mountains when their helicopter briefly stops at a remote mountain cabin to resupply. Inside, they find the emaciated frame of Raul Gomez, a man who has been missing for 4 months straight.
wow.
He had been traveling from Chile to Argentina by motorcycle when a mechanical breakdown forced him off of the road. He found shelter and survived on whatever he could find in the months that followed, mostly raisins left behind in the cabin and rats that he caught in a homemade trap. Raul was originally called a hero, but apparently he was trying to escape from a dark history. The crafty survivor was reportedly fleeing the country after being accused of forcing himself upon a child. The last thing I could find, officials were asking for him to be returned back to Chile for trial. Unfortunately, I don't know if he was ever taken back and put to justice. Before we get to number 1, my name is Chills and I hope you're enjoying my narration. If you're curious about what I look like in real life, then go to my Instagram at DylanIsChillinYT and tap that follow button to find out. I recently released a music video for my song Sidelined, and I'd love to get your opinion on it. Tap the circle icon in the top right corner, then tap my music video to give it a watch. It's also linked in the description below. It's a proven fact that generosity makes you a happier person, so if you're generous enough to hit that subscribe button and the bell beside it, then thank you. This way you'll be notified of the new videos I upload every Thursday and Saturday. Number 1. Hannah Anderson is a 16-year-old girl who has been the longtime obsession of James DiMaggio, a 40-year-old friend of the family. One day, James snaps and takes out Hannah's entire family before burning her garage down. Next, he takes Hannah all the way from San Diego, California, to the backwaters of Idaho against her will. She is busy fearing for her life when a group of horseback riders randomly spot the two of them in the forest. They don't think anything of it until later when they receive an alert on their phones warning of Hannah's disappearance. The horseback riders lead authorities back to the campsite where they last saw Hannah. Now an FBI jet is monitoring their every move from thousands of feet in the air. This is the exact moment when Hannah spots the aircraft and signals for help. She keeps waving for help while James tends to the campfire with his back turned. Relying on her bravery and quick wits, Hannah is able to quietly alert authorities without drawing suspicion. The FBI knows they have found their target and quickly sends in a squad on foot. There's a short firefight, and by the end of it, Hannah is safe and James is no longer alive. As you watch these YouTubers flee in terror, I encourage you to think how you would have reacted if you were in their situations, and what lengths you would go just to spend a few extra moments alive.
Yo, real talk, I've only ever been lost once in my life. And it was when I was a kid. We was at Six Flags. It was a group of us. It was at Six Flags. I was with my family and friends. And we were at Six Flags. It was late at night. And I forgot how I got lost. But I got lost. But fortunately, I was smart enough to stay at the front gate, because that's when I guess the front gates is like the only way you can leave and enter Six Flags. So I just stayed there. Like when I got lost, I went straight. It took me a while, but I went straight to the front gate, and I just stayed there the whole time. Long ass time. But I wasn't weird. I mean, oddly enough, I wasn't really scared. I guess because it was a lot of people there. And I was at the front gate, and now that I think about it, like Six Flags has like security at the front gate. At the time, I don't know. At the time, I didn't really know what security like was or anything, because I was that young. But I don't know. Let me know, comment below if you have like any like lost experience, and I guess at Six Flags I was like, I must have been lost because I didn't have my phone either. So I must have been lost like a while. I don't know how long, but that felt like a while. But comment below the longest you ever been lost. Like, was it for like a couple hours, couple minutes, couple days, a week, longer than that? Let me know that in the comment section below. And yeah, and where did you get lost? Like, was it in a whole nother state, a whole nother country? Were you hiking? Like, let me know that. Comment. No. Keep it cool, keep it classy, and I love you. Stay happy. My family.